Okay, now we're gonna go over the ingredients. You got JL number 2, that's a half a teaspoon, and you got cayenne pepper. We're just gonna put a pinch in there. You got kosher salt. Okay, now listen, if you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're watching my videos, you'll notice that every time I pick up an ingredient, the ingredient name along with the quantity comes up on the screen. Also, if you look down in the description box below the video, there's a detailed ingredient list in there so you guys can copy and paste. Now, moving right along. Okay, you got breadcrumbs. Look, a quarter cup. Listen, there's 3 types of breadcrumbs I brought out. Look, I use Parmesan for these tonight, but you can use, check this out, you can use Italian style or you can use that garlic herb. I just wanted to show you guys, you know what, you can do some things on your own. You don't have to follow this all the way down to a T. You know, you make your own recipe from it and then you go from there. All right, now right there we got the extra virgin olive oil. And then of course, you know, we got to have the star. That's the fresh salmon. That's actually a little bit more salmon than I needed. That was somewhere close to like a pound and 3/4. So you know what, that was a lot. All you need is like 1 pound, pound and a quarter, something like that, and it'll be just fine. Okay, now listen, key thing, they already skinned it for me at the seafood counter, so I didn't have to do that. Now you just want to cut them. What I'm doing is getting some chunks, because listen, I'm gonna get my meat cleaver and then we're gonna go to town on it. So right now I'm just trying to keep the chunks about the same. So each one of those pieces right there is about 3/4 inch. You know, so look, I just cut them. Once I got them all together, then I'm gonna get my meat cleaver and I'm gonna show you what we do. Now, it'll make sense to you because most people make this out of using canned salmon, which is fine. But you just want to get to pieces. I like mine a little bit more chunkier, like how we do lump crab when we make crab cakes. You know, so there you can see right there. Look, this is the fun part. Just get your meat cleave on. Just go ahead, chop it up. Make sure it's chopped all the way through. And if you see some parts, because I can see some pieces that had a little skin on it, I just went ahead and just cut the skin off and discarded it. Now, you want to get yourself a bowl, put your ingredients in the bowl, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rest of it together, but I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator and let it chill, because I like it, you know, the firmer it is, the easier it is to work with. Now this is what it looks like, and again, I just set it in the refrigerator while we go ahead and get our veggies together. Now you want to go ahead and get your extra virgin olive oil. Go ahead and put like maybe 2 tablespoons in there. Really more, that looked like more like 2 teaspoons. Okay, so look, you did that. Now we want to go ahead and put, listen, I kind of like mince these, you know, a little small. You know what I mean? These, I use the word minced instead of like, you know, diced, because you just want them to be small, because these are going to be small, you know, salmon croquettes. So you just go ahead and put your veggies in there. That would be your celery, onions, and your red bell pepper. And you just want to work them back and forth. You don't want to keep working them back and forth. But listen, the more you move them, the longer it takes for them to, you know, like cook down. So once you got them in there, they all got a little bit of that extra virgin olive oil on there. Just go ahead and notice the color. Listen, that red bell pepper starts to bleed onto that onto the celery and the onion. So listen, once they start getting that color right there, you don't want them too soft. Then you want to go ahead, I'm gonna say you want to do that for about 5 minutes. Now you want to just go ahead and just add that, you know, put that on top of your salmon. Now it's time to use the rest of your ingredients. Now, hey, listen, that's that JL number 2, you guys. And, you know, and that cayenne pepper. Then come back with, there is no order. Let me just say it like that. Hey, grab what you want to grab, put it all in there and mix it up. You just want to make sure you take care when you're mixing it up. You don't want to like beat your salmon up, you know, and like smash it. Okay, so now last thing we got right there, check that out. That's that mayo. Look, this right here, this is key. I know some of you guys gonna probably ask, what can you use for, you know, as a substitute for mayo? Let me think while you know, before you guys ask that question, maybe I have an answer for you by the time that comes up. Okay, now once you got it in there, you just go ahead and, you know, just mix it up. This right here is like pretty much self-explanatory, real easy. And again, that was a lot of salmon for this recipe. I actually could have doubled this recipe for as much salmon as I had. And the reason I'm pushing it down right there is just to make sure. I wanted to see how it'd be once I cake it together and form my balls. That right there looks good to me. Now you want to go back in the refrigerator for at least an hour. And if you plan ahead, you can do this the night before, and it'll be like super chilled and easy on, you know, to make those patties the next day. But anyway, we just did it for an hour. Now, what you just saw right there was I just added some breadcrumbs to a plate. Makes it easy, so once I form them and I put them on the plate, makes it so I can pick them up, so you know they don't stick to the table. Also, listen, if you want to put a little oil in your hand, you know, like maybe a drop or 2, and then rub it around, you know, or treat it like it's a meatball or something like that. Or you can get a little water on your hand, whichever, or you can, you know, whatever you can put on your hands to make it so that it doesn't stick, makes it just easier to form, these salmon balls. And once you got all your salmon patties on the plate, then what you want to do is you want to flip them over, and then once you got them flipped over, then I'm gonna add a little bit of those breadcrumbs onto the top of them. And now what you don't see is you want to get your pan nice and hot again on medium heat. You want to get that going, and then you want to add maybe a couple of tablespoons of that extra virgin olive oil, and then we're gonna go ahead and start frying. Real simple. Now, once we got that hot, now you want to go ahead and just start adding your croquettes to the pan. Now listen, it depends on how big your pan is. I'm gonna just say this right here. This right here is like a 9-inch pan. So listen, 3 at this size was just enough. You got to have enough room so that you can, get your spatula underneath it to help flip them. Now, once you cook them, you can look on the side and you can see they start cooking up. Almost like, hey, you know what? It's almost like watching a burger cook. You can just see it start to cook up. Once it gets almost to halfway, then go ahead and just flip it over. And so look, after I got them flipped over, we're gonna do the same thing until it cooks all the way, through. Now on medium heat, it should take about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, then your croquettes will be done. So what I'm doing right here, look, I know they done. I watched them cook. I watched it rise. So I'm going ahead and putting it on a plate. And you know what? All I can tell you guys is, I'm gonna just say this first. Enjoy, but there you have it, salmon croquettes.